Hey everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Clarity, Preventing Substance Misuse. I'm Tim Foster, and I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is super special. We're flipping things around and highlighting the people who are usually behind the scenes. If you listen to any of our episodes, then you've already heard their work, even if you didn't realize it. I'm talking about our amazing student editors. They're the ones who make sure each episode sounds polished, flows smoothly, and actually makes it to your eyes and ears. Without them, there would be no podcast. So today, I'm interviewing the editing team so you can get to know them, hear what goes into making an episode, and just appreciate all the work that they do. Let's get into it. Let's start with an intro. Can you tell us your name, what school and grade you're in, and one fun fact about you? And if you want, throw in your favorite coffee order too.
Hello, so I am Emma Saylor, and I am a senior at Martin Luther Junior Senior High School. And one fun fact about me is that I'm actually going to go to college for possibly media.
Hi, I'm Natalie Taylor. I'm a junior at Martin Luther High School. A fun fact about me is I like helping out at camps during the summer, and my coffee order would be a caramel frappe.
Hi, my name is Samuel Marquin Balderas, and I go to Martin Luther High School. And I've been to the state fair twice in a row and won twice. I'm going to make my third appearance, so be ready for that. And my favorite coffee is plain.
Awesome, thank you all. How did you first get involved in Empower, and what made you want to help with the podcast? Were you already interested in editing or media work?
Well, I got introduced into Empower by other classmates in our school, hosting like Empower events and that type of stuff. And also I just really like what the group is about. And I got into the media field by my brother, who is also in this media class, and I wanted to do it so I could bond with him in some ways. Then I ended up really enjoying it. So then I wanted to volunteer and do something for the community as well.
I remember when I was in grade school, the Empower group came and talked to us, and I thought, hey, Empower seems kind of interesting. So I joined it my freshman year, and I've been in it since then. And I remember going to a meeting where they discussed the podcast, and I think Emma and I were both there, and we were like, hey, we're in media, because we were in the class already at the time, and we were like, we could help edit that. We could do that.
I first got involved with Empower because I saw that at the fair, a little stand, and I asked them a question, and they said, why don't you just join to learn more? So I joined, and then for the podcast, I was also in media with Emma and Natalie. And I saw them working on it, so I got a little intrigued. So I was like, hey, do you mind if I do it?
Awesome, great answers. I think that shows how much our efforts go out to reach the community as a whole. Natalie, what's your role on the podcast team? Do you work with audio, video, uploading, music, or all of it?
Well, we all take turns doing all of it for a month. So like Emma will do January, I'll do February, and Sam will do March. We all take turns and do all of it for our month. And then Shelly helps us by uploading and actually putting it on a flash drive to then give to Desta.
Awesome. Thank you for your answer. Emma, can you walk us through what happens after we finish recording an episode? What's the editing process like from start to finish?
Yeah, I can do that. So what we do is once they're finished recording, Shelly puts it into our computers, and then we take those clips and then we put them onto our software that we use. And then we line up the audios, make sure they all line up nice, and then we cut it to make sure that the clip starts at the same time. Then we go through and get out the videos that's not them talking, and then if they want any certain parts taken out of the podcast, we can take that out. If people mess up, we can fix it. And then we do that for the whole podcast, and then at the end we cut them so they all end at the same time. Then we put in the opener and the closer. Then we have the whole podcast, and then we render it, which that takes a long time. And then we send it to Shelly to approve and make sure everything is spelt correctly, that we have all the correct information. And then Shelly sends it to Desta, and then Desta uploads it.
Awesome, thank you. I know I wouldn't be able to host an episode if my mistakes weren't edited out. Sam, what tools or software do you use to edit the podcast? Is there a program or feature you really like using?
Yeah, we use Adobe Premiere, And for the tools, we use a camera and a PZM microphone, which like it just grabs sound and makes it like more crisp so that you can hear better, like if it was coming to you from an actual person.
Emma, on average, how long does it take to edit a full episode? And how do you stay focused when you're working on it for that long?
Well, on average, it can take us about an hour to possibly 9 hours. A good example for that is the pilot. The pilot was about 15 minutes long, and editing it took us 9 hours. And that was mainly because it was our first time doing it, and we didn't really know how to edit it back then. But we learned more throughout, so we can edit it pretty fast now. And then if it's a Zoom one, we can get that done within an hour.
Awesome. Natalie, what's something people probably don't realize about editing a podcast?
Well, I know something I for sure didn't realize when I started was that when you sit down to go edit it for the first time, like for the first time with each one, you probably can't start editing right then because all the material has to load in, and that can take a while. So you usually have to get it loaded in and then wait and then come back to it another time and start editing.
Alright, this question's for everybody. Have you ever had an uh-oh moment when editing? Like something went wrong or got deleted? How'd you fix it?
I have had an uh-oh moment before. This was actually when we were making the pilot. I forgot to save it one time and all of it was deleted. So I had to do it all over again. And that was why it took 9 hours to make the pilot.
Yeah, similarly, I also forgot to save one time, and I was so close to being done with editing it. And then I just got the spinning circle of it loading, and then none of it saved, so I just had to re-edit it all.
Well, unlike them, I didn't forget to save, but I did accidentally delete over half the thing. So then I had to go back into the files, grab it out again, line it up, cut it, and edit it again. It was way harder than what they did.
Thank you. I think that really shows you all work very hard at this job. Alright, this question's also for everybody. What's one skill you've learned from editing that surprised you?
One skill I've learned through editing is probably patience. Because you have to patiently wait for all of the videos to upload, and then you have to wait for the audios to upload, and then you can finally start editing.
I've probably learned better time management because when we edit the podcast, we obviously have to do it outside of our school time and like fit it in between work and whatever else we may have. So if I know I only have about an hour to work on the podcast, I like need to plan accordingly so I can try and get a decent amount of it done.
One skill I've learned is similar to time management and patience, because I've only edited one podcast and I had to learn to be patient because it was taking me, because it was my first time, more than 2 days. And I had to learn time management as well because like I was in the middle of doing some sports, so I couldn't figure out what time to come.
If someone listening wants to try editing or media work, what advice would you give them?
The advice I would give them is maybe at first try something like small to see if you like editing in the media whole process. See if your school offers it or if you can come and shadow a media class just to see if you actually like it first.
If you're a beginner, one thing you could do is check out some simple editing apps and just try and use those to get the hang of things because they can be really helpful.
I'd say there's only one thing you need to do if you want to try editing your first podcast, is that you have to learn patience, time management, and knowing how to work a computer. And by knowing how to work a computer, I mean you have to know where the files are going and where they come from, how to sync them up, and more stuff like that in order to get the best quality out of your videos.
I think the fact that you all highlighted patience and time management shows that it's really important, and you can learn that from editing podcasts. Do you think you'll keep doing this type of creative work in the future?
I think I'll keep doing this creative work in the future. Like I said earlier, I'm planning on going to a college that has a media class, and I might be a part of that media class and production. where I'm going, and I will work in like filming live events like hockey games. I might do filming in little mini movies, that type of stuff. So yeah, I think I'll do it in the future.
I would like to continue doing media stuff on the side. I don't think it'll be my main job, but I really do enjoy working with media stuff, so.
I would like to have media as a career, and I mean going into the big leagues. Probably get into the UNC filming sites, you know? All those Marvel characters, they can't film all by themselves. They're going to need help. So that's why I'm going to try to become the best there is.
Great, thank you all. Huge shout out to our editing team. Thank you all so much for being here, and even more for everything you do behind the scenes. This podcast literally wouldn't exist without you. If you're listening and learned something new today, or if you're feeling inspired to try out podcasting or editing, definitely reach out. We're always looking for new voices and talents. Thanks for tuning in to Coffee and Clarity. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.